I'm alright, thanks. Not too bad. How are you?
We're in
Yeah,
good form, mate. We're in good form. I don't know if you heard with Martin on earlier on. A good conversation with Martin, and it's one of these questions. We're going to ask you the kind of same question. We probably don't know till after the event come next week. Can you understand what Dean Smith did last night? Going not to be beaten, Lenny, effectively, because it gives them a crack at the staying up in the final game of the season. And were you a little bit surprised at his team?
Yeah, very surprised at the team. Wasn't surprised at the formation because they've been leaking goals, Ollie, in the last few games. So I got the back three with the two wing backs, but leaving out Barnes and Maddison, was a bit of a puzzler for me because they needed to score a goal at some stage in the game. But they set their stall out very early just to, not be beaten. And, they were fortunate at times, Newcastle, hit the post, I think, on 3 occasions. So they rode their luck a little bit. They come away with a clean sheet, which, psychologically will be good for them. But, it's difficult to go to St James's, especially on a night like that when the atmosphere was such in, Newcastle's favour. It was a fantastic display they put on before the game, and they played reasonably well, Newcastle. But it's out of their hands now, coming into Sunday, and you know how difficult that can be on the last day.
Well, that's it. It's all now. It makes the last day of the season at the bottom of the table really, really quite fascinating. We were just going through the ramifications and things like that. Do you see? I mean, it's so it's so difficult to predict, isn't it? Really, but Leicester have got West Ham, and you could almost say for West Ham, whose eyes might be on European football and their final that they've got to play in the Conference League. How do you see that game going? Is it a game that obviously they've taken that draw with a mind that they're going to go and try and beat West Ham and they think they might be able to do it? Do you see them doing it?
See, on top of that, Lenny, sorry, but just before you answer that question, I want to give you another one to answer as well. Is there a serious level of responsibility on Moisey? Because I'll ask you this to answer the second question. See if West Ham, for example, were playing, I don't know, Brentford or Palace or somebody that really didn't have anything to play for. I'm probably thinking if I'm Moisey, I'm playing a team that has got no way going to be my team for the European final.
Yeah, that's a good point. Listen, West Ham are safe. They've done their business. Regardless of what team he puts out, you can't point any fingers at David. He's got a European final to think about, so he'll be thinking about what's best for West Ham and his players. I do think, however, Laura, that Leicester won't play the same way as they did last night. I think they'll be, I think that was just a one-off for that sort of specific game. And I think they're going to have to come out, well, it's out of their control. That can affect what happens at Goodison by, maybe scoring early and putting all the pressure on Everton. You could say the same, Coisty, about Ryan Mason and Gary O'Neill as well. What sort of teams they're going to put out against Everton and Leeds. But we all know about these last days, Coisty. We've had a few up in Scotland. They can flip-flop and, the table will come up on the screen as it stands probably every 15 minutes because there's so much riding on the game. But all Leicester can do now is win the game and hope that results go their way. But it's not a great position to be in. I'd much rather be in Everton's position.
Absolutely. But I think you make a great point because it's one of these few occasions probably, Lenny, where you are obviously totally committed and focused on your own game. However, you must have at least ears elsewhere which could influence your own game in terms of the shape of your team and how you approach it. How difficult will that be?
You're spot on. You know what it's like, because as soon as a negative or a positive action happens at one of the other games, it filters through to the stadium more or less straight away. For me, like, Leicester have just got to go out all guns blazing and try and score early and shift the balance in their favour. But what they can't do is, well, in a little way, they can influence what goes on at Goodison Park by putting all the pressure on Everton by, trying to get 1 or 2 up before half time.
Yeah. Okay. Neil, thank you, mate. Enjoy the last
Thanks
game of
for
the season.
mate. Have a good day.
Cheers, guys. All the best.
All the best.
See you later. Neil Lennon there. So wrapped up
It's
quite nicely.
isn't it?
Leicester need to win, and they need to hope that Everton drop points on the last day of the season if they're going to stay up.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.